Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Weapon Strip. I'm your host from the East Coast, Tazzy Cookie Mangy Lookie, and today's episode of Weapon Strip is going to be dedicated to QBZ-95, or you can call it the QBZ-95. I don't really give two licks of a shit. So just like every other episode of Weapon Strip, I like to get the stats out of the way with first. So let's just jump into the stats before I give you guys my thoughts and my opinions on the QBZ-95. The stats are as followed. The magazine capacity is 30 plus 1 round in the chamber. The fire rate is 600 rounds per minute. The fire type is full auto, 3-round burst, and also semi-auto. The reload time is 2.5 seconds, and then dropping down to 2.9 seconds if the magazine is completely dry. The damage is 25% at mid-range, and then dropping down to 14% at long range. Alright, now that we got some stats out of the way with, I want to tell you guys my thoughts, my opinions about the QBZ-95. First off, my ideal loadout for this weapon would definitely have to be the laser sight and the heavy barrel. I used the flash suppressor as well, and that did help me out quite a bit. But I would have to go to the heavy barrel and the laser sight. I think it's like the only weapon in the game that you can attach both the laser sight and the heavy barrel. So it kind of reduces a little bit of recoil that the weapon has. I guess people say that they do have some problems with recoil with this weapon, but I see that there's basically none to even be mentioned. I don't find that this weapon has a lot of recoil whatsoever. So being able to attach a laser sight and a heavy barrel on the QBZ-95 is just, it's like a kid in a candy store. One thing I found about the QBZ-95 right away was that it is pinpoint accurate. This is one of the seldom or very few weapons in between for Battlefield 3 that where I pointed at a target and shot, I connected with my target, dropping him with like 4 or 5 bullets, depending on what range you are on the battlefield. Keep in mind, you don't really want to go for long distance targets. That's just what I found, and that's my opinion. The weapon kind of handled and was a lot better within close quarter engagements. But if you do find the recoil is kind of uncontrollable, make sure to use the fire mode and on your controller by selecting the 3-round burst, because that will reduce the recoil within the weapon and you will be able to maintain it a little bit better if you are finding the recoil quite uncontrollable. One thing I will say about the weapon though is that I tried it when it first came out with the B2K DLC and I wasn't very impressed. But rumors were stirring up and people were giving me comments and sending me inbox messages saying, hey Taz, check out the QBZ-95. And finally, Alpha Squad left a message and got enough thumbs up that it gave me the chance of going back and giving this weapon a solid try. So if you did use it in the past and you didn't like it, it's a lot more better now, seeing how the patch might have fixed some damage patch issues, and also the recoil is, I heard that it is dummied down a bit, but it doesn't really seem like it is. But anyways, give it another shot, because I'm going to give the QBZ-95, that's right, 5 cookies out of 5. Now you can hate on me if you want, but remember, these are my thoughts and my opinions on how the weapon has handled for me personally, Tazzy Cookie. And I hope you enjoyed this week's commentary of Weapon Strip. As always, I'm Tazzy Cookie, and I'm signing out.
Enemy fast mover